You didn't wear agbada today. Wow. Okay, so everyone, please join me in welcoming Prosper Otemuyiwa.
You said you're that
Prosper,
of
where
a
is your
Yoruba
agbada?
married man.
It's
I'm
missing
here.
the.
No, no, you're.
What? What's the problem? No, but it's a good thing.
Thank you, Adora. Adora just shaded me now. She said you're that of a Yoruba married man. I'm Yoruba and I'm a married man. All right, guys. I'm really excited to be here today. I gave a talk yesterday, and it was a workshop. How many of you were here yesterday for the workshop? Nice. Did you like it? Was it great? All right. So today's talk will be like a continuation of yesterday's talk, but no workshop, no code. We're going to be talking about, just give me a second. Okay. So I don't know if this internet issues. All right. Okay. So just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Prosper Otemuyiwa. I co-founded a community called Follow Africa so many years ago. About 8 years, 9, 10 years ago. And I also co-founded a company called Eden Life. Yesterday, some of you ate here. That food that you ate was from Eden. Today, some of you are going to eat again, and it will be from Eden. So if you like it, please give a shout out on social media and also download the app. I'm also a co-contributor to an open source project called Novu, which I'm also going to be talking about today. And I'm a startup investor, so I've been privileged to invest in over 20 companies so far and still counting. So if you have a startup, you can come around, talk to me, and we can take it from there. I'm also a PHP and a Laravel diehard fan. So for some of you that already know me, I like PHP so much. I love Laravel, and I will defend PHP and Laravel anytime, anywhere, any day, right? And lastly, I'm an open source evangelist. So I've been doing open source for how many years now? Let's say 10 years. I've been doing open source since 2015, 2015, 2016. So the title of today's talk is called, I don't know why this is slow, Battle Ready Contributions. When I was choosing this talk, and I gave the organizers, it was really funny because it's like, what do you mean by battle ready contribution, right? But what we are going to talk about right now is an approach, a different approach to doing open source. And this approach is called the military approach. Are you following? The military approach to open source. I wish this was fast. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the clicker. Should show the slides. Okay. It would be really nice if you guys saw the slides. So, anyways, so like I said, today we are going to be talking about the military approach to open source, and I wanted to talk about just 4 qualities or 4 things I think I need you to be aware of for you to use the military approach to contributing to open source. So number 1 is lock. Number 2 is eliminate doubt. Number 3 is embrace courage. And number 4 is endurance training. And I'm going to be giving some examples. Okay, so these are the 4 things I want to talk about, right? Number 1 is lock. Number 2 is eliminating doubt. Number 3 is embrace courage. And number 4 is endurance training. So we are going to start with number 1, which is luck. And I'm just going to give you a story, a short story of something that happened earlier this year. I know I gave a talk, in the first Oscar, I gave a talk in the second one, and I like giving stories so that you can understand me better. So earlier this year, Happy New Year, everything was going great. I got an email, somebody shot me this email, very lovely email. I don't know if you can see what the content of that email, but what the email was just basically saying is that, hey, I've seen one of your articles, 15 developer tools to make you super productive. It's one of the articles I wrote on DevTool, and I tweeted about it, and people really liked the article. Like, it just blew up, right? And this person sent me an email, just randomly. I don't know this person from space, from anywhere. I got the email, and what this email is just trying to say is that, hey, I like the way you write, and I want you to write for us, right? And I saw Novu. So it piqued my interest, I get emails every day, different type of emails, and I'm just like, no, I'm going to attend to this. What is Novu? So I did my research, I Googled, I checked their repository, I checked the website, and I sent back an email. Now, we are going to the next point, which is to eliminate doubt. So I replied to this person, hoping I would get an email back, right? So the next day, I checked my inbox. I did not see any email. I waited for 2 days, no email. I waited for 1 week, no email. And you know what happens next? Your mind is like, shey this guy dey whine me. You sent me an email. I replied you almost 10 minutes after you sent me that email, and I've not gotten anything back. What's happening? Was it a spam? Are they playing with me? Are they trying to see my reaction? And then, how many of you have gone through the stage of when you are being very curious about something? Something has piqued your interest. You are ready. And then, I'm sure many of you get this when you apply for jobs. It's like, oh my God, I really want to work at this company. And, you apply, and then nobody's saying anything. So, I was like, what should I do next? Right? I've sent this person an email. Nothing, no response. I said, you know what? I'm just going to stalk this person that sent me an email. As with all of us here, all of us are stalkers, right? I went to find his email. I researched about him. I went to find their handbook. I searched for the people in that company. And you will not believe what I did next. I don't know why this thing is slow. I really need it to be fast because it's easier for you to follow through the slides. So, this is a very popular tweet from somebody that some of you know already, Imade on Twitter. I saw this tweet the other day, and then, I said I was going to add it to my talk. What does it say? It says, regret for something you did fades with time, but regret for something you never let yourself do is inconsolable, right? So, there were 2 options I had. After I have replied this email, should I let it go, or should I take the next step? And I took the next step. Remember, follow me. I've replied the email. Nobody has, responded. Nobody has sent me anything. And I'm just here chilling. So I'm like, what's the next thing I can do? So I went ahead and started building, right? I searched their repositories. I saw that they had like a Node SDK. They had an Elixir SDK. They had a Rust SDK. And of course, I do PHP. I do Laravel. I was like, I saw their API reference. I saw their docs. I'm like, this thing can be better. There's no PHP SDK too as well. So I went ahead and I created a PHP SDK. I've created so many PHP packages over time that, it's like second nature to me. So I created, right? So after I created it, as always, like I always do, I wrote about it, I tweeted about it, and I did not stop there. I sent an email back to that person that sent me the original email. Now, at this point, you might say it's spamming, but I don't care. I really wanted to contribute to that project. So I sent it to that person, and then I did not send it to that person alone. I looked for the CTO, a very major contributor at Novu, and I emailed him, right, and sent him the SDK. And then I sent him some other things too, something wrong with the documentation. I was like, okay, there's an API reference here. and there is a normal doc, I can improve on this. So I sent him all of that, and then I got an email almost immediately. And I'm like, now we are talking. So this takes me to the next point. So the next point is endurance training, right? Now I've created the SDK. I've talked to some of the contributors at Novu. What should I do next, right? So I started contributing to the documentation. I contributed to the API reference doc. I contributed to the platform docs. I started writing some of them, started making it better. And I did not stop there. I know PHP and Laravel a lot, but then, of course, I've used some other backend languages before. I know some contributors, I know some Ruby folks, I know some Go folks, I know some people that do .NET and the rest. So I continued. I joined the Discord channel, and I was like, okay, I can help with some of the other SDKs here, because if you have a Node SDK, you have a PHP SDK, you have about 3 to 4 SDKs, there can be more. So I went out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone is just doing my own part and writing my article. And I collaborated with different engineers that I know. And some of the ones I just randomly saw on Discord. And I was like, hey, will you be willing to write a .NET SDK? Don't worry about it if you've not written anyone before. I'm going to guide you. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to do it together. I'm not a .NET person. I've probably written .NET just once in my life. Also, we did the same thing with Ruby. I've written Ruby, I did Ruby for a year. So I really don't know many of those technologies, but I collaborated with the folks that I saw to build the SDKs for Novu, right? So we went from having 3 SDKs to having about 7 to 8 SDKs within 3 months. And I was coordinating all of that because I wanted to really just contribute more and make an impact there. So talking about endurance training in today's talk, it just simply means you're going to go out of your comfort zone and do things that you have not done before and do them repeatedly, right? The other day I was listening to something and somebody said, if you want to get fit, you don't just go to the gym and do it one day, right? That's not how you get fit. You go to the gym. What makes you fit is when you come back the next day and come back the next day and keep going, right? And that's an example of endurance training. Because when you go every day and you do everything that you're supposed to do there, you build a muscle for these things that become second nature to you, and it takes you places. I saw this tweet some days ago about Kelvin. He's here in this talk. I'm sure he's listening to this talk now. And he became talking about how he became the lead maintainer of sales. And I know I've been talking to him for so many years now. I know he loves to use sales a lot. I know he has been contributing. And when I saw this, I was not surprised. I was really not surprised because he has been doing this over and over and over. He has been doing it for years. He has been doing it for months, right? So when he finally became the lead maintainer of sales, it was not a surprise to me because I'm just like, my time is up. Wow, that was very fast. Anyways, I was not surprised, right? Because I was just like, you know what? This is exactly what it's meant to be because you have been doing this over time. You have been giving all your energy to it. And, at the end of the day, this is what comes out of it. So just 2 more minutes and I'll be done. I just want to simply introduce Novu to you guys. And for some of you that are trying to make contributions and you don't know where to start from, Novu is a very good project for you to start from, right? Novu is an open source package that allows you to do anything that you need to do with notifications. Look at it as a gateway to multiple notifications. So if you're talking about email notifications, SMS, in-app, push, Novu is the gateway that brings all of this together, right? And then when it brings everything together, all you need to do to integrate in your code base is just integrate the Novu code. Once you integrate the Novu code, you don't have to worry about adding multiple providers. Now, Novu is very open source. Nobody's paying for anything. It's very free of charge. When you go to the repo, there are so many ways to contribute. And I'm just going to quickly highlight that before they drag me off the stage, right? So, number 1, you can contribute from the docs. The docs needs a lot of improvements right now, right? There are still many things that need to be added. So feel free to contribute from the docs. And again, I'm always around. I'm always on Twitter. I also contribute, so you can feel free to tag me on GitHub if you need help doing that. Then secondly, the SDKs. Right now, like I told you, the SDKs are still pretty new. So we need a lot of helping hands contributing to those SDKs. There is virtually an SDK in every language. So any language that you're comfortable with contributing to, please come and submit issues, open PRs here, and contribute. And then finally, another way you can contribute to is to add a channel provider, right? So I talked about having multiple email providers. You can use connected to Novu. We have Amazon SCS, we have Twilio, we have Mandrill, we have Mailgun, and we are looking for more to add, right? So one of the easiest ways you can contribute to Novu is to look for an email provider, maybe one of your choice, the one that you're very familiar with, or the one that you've seen people use in the past, and then create a PR and just submit your contribution, and then we are going to review it and make sure we add it. We are looking for so many providers, right? So if you know any new provider, SMS, push, feel free to send a PR, and we are going to review it and add. So these are the ways you can contribute to Novu, and I'm going to still be here to the end of the day, so feel free to come and talk to me at the back. I also have some Novu swags. Again, I don't have time now. My time is up. I'll probably tell Ada about it. So there are some swags at the back. After this talk, maybe we'll do some Kahoot or something, and people can win the swag. But anyways, these are the ways that you can contribute to Novu. And this is the link to join the community. This is very slow. There's a Discord link I'm going to share now. Feel free to join that Discord. I'm also on that Discord. So if you have any questions, just tag me or anybody will respond to you there. And also feel free to connect with me on Twitter. And again, I'm here for the entire day. So if you want to contribute or you're looking for ways to use Novu in your project, please meet me at the back, and I'm going to give you all the info that you need. And that's the end of my talk. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, my boss.